So let's discuss about server. So let's discuss about server. What is meant by server? Server is a hardware or software that processes a request sent over a network and replies to them. This is known as a server. So server is basically a hardware or software that processes the request sent over a network and replies to them in the form of a request and response model through protocols. So a client, what is meant by a client? To know about server, we need to know about client. So client is a device. Client is a person that submit a request and wait for the response from the server. So client is the device that submits request and waits for the response from the server. So client basically request server response gives response. So this is how client server operations are performed. Just we need to remember a single client can use multiple servers, but multiple servers, multiple clients can be served by single server. So single person, single client can use multiple servers, but multiple clients can be served by single server. For example, there is a college called Joseph. In that college, students are waiting for results. Okay, so here the students are clients. So there are so many students. So there are so many clients. Here, Joseph College is server. So in Joseph College, they are maintaining servers with databases. Hence, clients known as students are searching for the results or waiting for the results that are served by a single server. Here you can see students are clients. So there are so many students. Hence we say n number of clients, multiple clients can be served by a single server. In single server, so many people, so many students are accessing for the data in the form to know the result. This is how client server model works. So client is basically a hardware device or software that processes the request sent over a network and replies to them. So here you need to know about client and server. So what does the server does? So what does a server does? Server can provide various functionalities called services. What kind of services does a server provide? The first one is server provides sharing of data. Sharing data to multiple clients. Performing computations for a client. So these are the services that are performed that the server provided by server to the client. Okay, so it shares the data, resources for multiple clients, performs computations, and performs some other applications. These are things that server performs to client. So now let's get to know about more things what the server does. So server performs specific tasks like hosting websites. Server performs tasks like hosting websites, managing emails, storing files, so running applications, example. So server listens to client request. You need to remember this. Server listens to client request. So hence server and client model is known as request or response model. Okay, servers operates using request and response model. So we need to remember this. So which model server performs? We need to say it is request and response model. Servers are always ready. Just we need to remember that servers are always ready to listen on specific networks supports for incoming request. So servers are ready, always ready to listen on specific network port for incoming requests which are performed by the client. So servers are always ready for the client to serve the request. So through the network ports. So it can be done using protocols. So in the coming classes we'll get to know about what is meant by protocol and other things. So we need to remember server processes the request given by client and provides appropriate response. So this is how server and client model perform. So there are so many types of servers available. So let's get to know about the types of servers. So we have file servers, mail servers, database servers, web servers, email servers, proxy servers, application servers, and so on. So we have so many kinds of servers available. So let's get to know about each and everything. So we all know about what is meant by a file server. So it stores users' files over a network. So we know about the FileZilla software. Over a network, people can and share the files, so they can access the files over a network. Say, receive, send. We can perform all this kind of operation through file servers. So what is my mail servers? So mail servers means anything that kind of any operation that are performed on mail, like sending a mail, receiving a mail, checking the mails, storing mails, okay, composing the mails. So these are performed using mail servers. So we all know about what is with database servers. So database servers are MySQL. SQL Server, Oracle. So, database servers are database management system. DBMS software which are used to perform operations on data through SQL language. It provides the platform. It provides a platform to run SQL service. So this is how database service works. So what is web servers? So we have two web servers. So we have email servers and mail servers are similar, and proxy server. So we all know about proxy. What is a proxy? It acts as an interface between a client and a server. Okay, it just filters and it just exchanges the IP address and performs uh, proxy searches. It helps. Okay, so let's get to know. We have application servers. So we have application servers like uh, we all know about Apache, Tomcat, and there's so many application servers that are available. So to run software, to perform any kind of operations on the websites, inside the website there is a data and to perform operations. So we use application servers, Apache Tomcat, IBM WebSphere, Oracle WebLogic. There are so many kinds of application servers that are available right now. So these are the servers that are available. So among this, we need to know about the web servers and the application servers are extremely important for us. So what is meant by a web server? So there are two kinds of web servers available. One is static and other one is dynamic. What is meant by a static web server and what is meant by dynamic web server? So static doesn't require any database or server. So it's just it just need just need an internet and database small base to host the website. We need just a space. That's it. So no need to learn the backend part. So nothing required. So just for viewing purpose. Okay. So what we see is what you get. Okay. So what we write is what you see. So what we type in the browser. So what we do operations on the page is just static. So we can't perform any kind of interactions like viewing the results, updating the data, checking the data. Nothing can be done. No data operations are done. Just to see and view the website. For example, static websites are information-related websites. Suppose anyone can create a blog about information about themselves. So it's just about information, nothing more than that. Just a photo, text, information, mails, nothing more than that. Only a static part. So this is known as a static web servers. So dynamic web servers requires so dynamic web servers includes application servers plus a database. We require application server, both application server and database. To generate web content in real time. So static server that delivers pre-written files exactly. So how they store, we get we'll get to see in the format in the same way. But dynamic servers are different. So we can perform interactions on the data we can see on the websites. So application servers, we all know about the application servers like Apache Tomcat. Okay, so Apache Tomcat. So these are the application servers we use. These are the application servers that we use. Uh, for the database management system, we use MySQL, Oracle, and SQL Server. Combining these two, we can create a dynamic website. So dynamic and static web servers are extremely important in managing the databases. So web server definitely helps you to know about how database management system works. Okay, so this is how we perform things. So servers can also be classified into two ways. Servers are classified in two ways. One is hardware and software server. So hardware server, what is a hardware server? Hardware servers are powerful physical machines to handle multiple client requests. So hardware servers are the physical thing, like components, includes RAM, ROM, motherboard, ports, network ports, CPU, processors. It includes hardware servers. So it's a physical machine which is designed to handle multiple client requests. So what is meant by a software server? A software server is a program that performs server operations, server functions. Server functions, what kind of server functions? Like a web server, like Apache. Okay, inside the software server, Apache Tomcat, we run databases. We perform operations on data. Okay, so this is how servers are classified, hardware and software. So let's get to know about the components of server. So there are few components inside the server. So we all know about hardware parts. Hardware parts. The best one is hardware part. So hardware parts includes CPU, memory, that is RAM and ROM, storage devices, hard disk for storing the data, network interfaces, and many more. Processors, network interfaces, ports, etc. So these are these are mandatory. These are uh, these are included inside the server hardware components. So the next one is network connectivity. So network connectivity includes LAN, WAN, something like that. So hardware parts are extremely important for the hard hardware servers. Now let's get to know about what is meant by hosting. So hosting means providing space platform, that is a space to run web applications, websites. So this is how hosting works. So we have two types of hostings. One is types of hosting. We have two types of hosting. One is local host. So second one is global. say global as a web host. Okay, so local hosts are free. Means just we need a computer to run. Web host may charges the clients to run applications or to run websites. So if we are a student or if we are not using any kind of not dealing with business or something, if we are learning, so it's better to go for local host. So if we are performing any kind of business or high end application, if you're running high end applications that uh, so many people depend on, so go for web host. So in local host we have so many softwares like so local host. Let's get to know about local host. So local host, what is meant by local host? So local host means hosting your web application, website or web application inside your PC or laptop. So you're not using any internet. So you're using your own hardware device or PC or laptop, something desktop computer, laptop, okay, to run your website. So hence local, we call it we call the term local. Okay, uh, so we don't need any kind of internet connection. Okay, uh, so if you want to access the local host, you need to type after installing the local server, you need to type HTTP localhost 8080. So default IP address uh, to run localhost website is 27.0.0.1. So this is the website to run the websites inside our system. Okay, so we need some tools to run local servers. So we need few tools to run local servers. So what are the tools to run local servers? There are few tools like WAN, XAMPP, LAMP, and MAMP. So these are the few tools to run local servers. So what is meant by WAMP, LAMP, XAMPP? So these are local servers. So these are free. You can download it from the internet. So what are the uses of this? So to install, so to run any websites, to host any, to perform any kind of operations inside a website like data operations, user interactions, etc. We need local servers. So there are few local servers like PAM, XAMPP, LAMP, and MAN. So these are the local servers. So these are the local servers that we have to run websites. So what is meant by WAMP? So WAMP is generally used for Windows OS, only for Windows OS. So XAMPP, any OS, for any OS like Linux, Windows, Mac. XAMPP is suitable for all kinds of OS. LAMP is used for only Linux platforms. MAMP is used for Mac platforms. So we use XAMPP for all kinds of OS. It's better to go for XAMPP. So if you are having Mac OS, if you are having Windows OS, with a Linux OS, all kinds of OS, XAMPP is suitable platform to run all kinds of websites. Okay, uh, this is how we perform. The full forms of WAMP, XAMPP, and Windows, Apache, MySQL, and PHP or Perl or Python. So XAMPP means any platform. LAMP means Linux. Mac means Mac. The rest all same. So Apache is application server. MySQL is a DBMS software. This is a backend language, programming language. So this is a OS. This is application software. So this is database management system. So this is backend language. So OS is Windows. Application software is Apache. DBMS software is MySQL. Programming language is Perl or Python or PHP. So this is how it works. WAMP. So WAMP, full form WAMP. W stands for OS, A for application software, database management system, and P for programming languages. So these softwares you can download from internet. So just go to internet, Google, and download it and run and install in your PC. Okay. So to run any kind of websites and applications, download BAM, XAMPP tools. Okay. This is how we need to use. So these are the local servers. Okay. So if you are student, if you are learning, if you are performing any kind of operations, so testing purposes, it's better to go for local servers. So web servers you need to purchase. The web servers are completely paid. So if you want to see your websites on global platform, you need to use web servers. So you need to about PHP MyAdmin. So what is my PHP MyAdmin? So PHP MyAdmin is a free software tool written in PHP. So it is just designed for administrating MySQL over the web. Okay, so PHP MyAdmin, you can access this PHP MyAdmin in local servers as well as global servers. So it just provides a graphical user interface, okay, that allows user to interact with databases using a browser. So no need to learn about the SQL commands, complex SQL commands. Just drag and drop a user and mouse with hardware interactions. User can perform SQL operations. Okay, so this is how PHP MyAdmin helps. So it helps users web-based graphical user interface. So so it helps users who can't able to learn SQL queries. So no worries about SQL. Learn. No worries about SQL learning. Just go for PHP MyAdmin and use the tool. Okay. So I will show you how to run web servers in PC. So after downloading the web server, so go to search and type WAMP or XAMPP. So after typing XAMPP, you can see Apache. This is a application software, database MySQL, database management system. FileZilla is a file server. So you need to run Apache and MySQL. Just press the start button. After pressing the start button, you can see the processes IDs that are allocated and the ports that are shown. So if you see the processes ID and ports, that means your server is started. Your database management system and servers are ready to use. So now we need to go to your specific place where you want to create project. So I have installed one. The the file the project name is project one. The folder name is project one. The project name is project one. Inside the project one, I need to create few files. It all depends on your language that you're using. If you're using static, dynamic websites, it all depends on the language that you use, whether you want to use HTML, CSS, PHP, backend. So these are the languages that you need to use. Okay, so it all depends on the project work that you do. So this is how you have to do. You have to create a project. So I'm just creating the file. Inside the file, I'm writing a text. Welcome to project 1. I'm saving this file as A. I'm saving this file as A. I'm going to browser and accessing that file. Localhost. File name is project 1. Sorry. So I type in this folder called localhost. So what is the folder name? Is the folder name is project 1, right? Type project 1. Enter. So in this project 1 folder, so I can see the 4 files. So I have created a file name called A. Inside the file A, I have created a text called welcome to project 1. So I'm just going to the website. Inside the file, I have created welcome to project. So I am viewing this notepad file inside a website, inside a web browser. So I'm just clicking this and clicking this file. You can see the text in web browser. Yeah, that means you are ready to run the code inside the website. So this is the first basic step. So I have created the text inside the notepad file, but this is the web browser. I can access the text here inside the browser, Chrome browser. This is how servers helps to run. Servers helps us to run this. Servers helps us to see websites, to run websites. Okay, this is how local servers help. So we have web servers. So these are web servers are paid. So this for business purposes. Like, so if you want to show your websites globally, okay, anywhere from anywhere, any place you want to access your website, you need to go for web servers. So so we have so many kinds of web servers available in the internet. So like GoDaddy, something like that. So in that GoDaddy, you need to purchase hosting, domain names. After purchasing the domain names and hosting, so you can access the website after typing in the browser. So this is how servers helps us to run software. Okay. So I hope you understood what is meant by a server, what is meant by a client. So what are the components of the server? What are the types of server? The models of server, client server models. What is local server? What is global server? Okay. Like everything. So you need to know one more thing called client server model. So in this client server model, so client request data, server response. So client request data and server response. So client request data in the form of query, server response in the form of text or something like that, file. Okay, so this can be done using a protocol known as HTTP protocol. So this client server process can be done using protocol. So the protocol name is HTTP protocol. So the full form of HTTP is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So while the client is requesting the server, the HTTP request protocol is activated. When the server is providing the response, HTTP response protocol is activated. This is how client server model works: HTTP request and HTTP response. Client request data, server response data. So through the HTTP protocol, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So it can be done. Okay. Also after typing in the web browser, okay, the client types request example in web browser. For example, today weather condition. So after typing this text, so after pressing the search button, so immediately the HTTP protocol carries the information, okay, to server. So to server carries the information and performs operations like searching, and the server finally displays the results or output. server displays the results are output. Okay, server finally displays the results are output. Okay, its client processes the request, server responds. Okay, server the request. Example: today's weather is 30 degrees Celsius. So this is how client and server model performs through HTTP protocol. So I hope you have understood about HTTP server, client, types of servers, what is meant by local server, what is meant by web server, and what are the components of the server. So now let's get to know about what is meant by database. So database is actually a place where data is stored. So database is actually a place where data is stored. So to perform to write, so where data is stored. So what is meant by SQL? So SQL is a programming language. So database is just a place where data is stored. So SQL is known as a programming language. So I hope you have understood the difference between database and SQL. So now what is meant by MySQL? So MySQL is a database management system. So we have so many database management systems like MySQL, Oracle, SQL Server, PostgreSQL. So we have so many DBMS software. So this is known as a DBMS software. Okay. So database is actually a place where data is stored. Okay. So what is meant by Apache? So Apache is an application software. Tomcat. We know about Apache Tomcat, right? So this is an application software. So okay. So what is the use of this application software? So to host websites, to run websites. Okay. To run websites and to link with databases, we require application software. So this is application software. Okay. So what is meant by a WAM? What is this WAM, ZAM, LAN, MAN? So this WAM, ZAM, MAN are local servers. Okay. So these are local servers. So what is meant by PHP MyAdmin? So this is a GUI user interface, graphical user interface to perform operations on data. SQL operations. To perform SQL operations, we require we use PHP MyAdmin, WAM, ZAMP, and LAMP and MAN servers. So these are the local servers we have. So I hope you have understood the differences between programming language, DBMS software, application software, local servers, and what is a GUI. Okay, so client is person generally installs a local server inside a PC, like installing XAMPP, for example. First, the client download and install XAMPP server. After that, he starts application server, Apache, and Tomcat. So after that, he he starts both Apache and MySQL, sorry, application server and database server. He starts both Apache and database servers. Okay, after starting the application server and database server, he creates a project inside folder called as htdocs. Inside XAMPP, we have a folder called htdocs where we create the files. Inside the htdocs, we create the projects. Okay, so this is how a client creates a project. Okay, so first he installs the server. He installs a local server like RAM, SAM inside the PC. After installing the server, he starts both application server and database server. Okay, after starting the server, he creates a project inside the HTTP docs. So where he have installed XAMPP. Generally, by default, XAMPP is installed in local disk C. So HTTP is created. So we create projects inside the HTTP. Okay, this is how we run applications. So we create projects. After creating the project, after creating the project, after creating a project, the project. So you need to remember the folder name is equal to project name. So project name and folder names are almost equal. The folder name should be project name. So the folder names are equal to project names. Folder names are similar to project names. Inside the folder name project folder, we create. Hello. Okay. आपने तो रखा inside the project name we create files. Okay, inside the project name we create files. And after creating the files using we create projects using programming languages. Okay, after creating the files using programming language, we run the file in browser to display the result or output. So this is how the client perform operations. So first he downloads the web server, he installs the server, he starts application server and database server. After that, he creates a project. After creating the project, he creates files using programming languages. So after creating the files using the programming languages, he run the file in the browser to check the result. So this is how client perform all kinds of operations. Okay. So now let's get to know how database is created. So database is created using the command called create command. So create database name. Okay, this is how database is created. Create database name. So database name can be anything that is alphabets. You can use alphabets. So now let's see. Now let's go to PHP MyAdmin and let's see graphically how we create a database. So in the right side section, you can see in the left side section you can see an option called New. Click on the option. Here you can see the box which has a placeholder database. Create, type any database name. So I'm typing project 1. So I have typed project 1 name of the name. This is known as the name of the database. I'm clicking this option called create. After pressing the option, after pressing the create button, you can see the project 1 database is created. You can see the project 1. So this is how database is created. So after creating a database, we create tables. Inside the tables, we create rows and columns. So this is how we create a database. Okay, I hope you have understood how to create a database, how to create a database. Okay, now let's see the types of SQL commands. So now let's get to know about what is MySQL. So SQL is a programming language. So SQL is a programming language which helps user to run commands. Okay, SQL commands. So we can also say SQL queries. So to perform different types of operations on data inside
a database. So to perform different types of operations on data inside database, we use a language known as SQL. So to write these SQL queries, we need a platform to write SQL queries. That is, the platform name is DBMS software. So DBMS software provides a platform to run SQL queries. So types of DBMS softwares are MySQL, SQL Server, Oracle, PostgreSQL. So these are the DBMS softwares we use to run SQL commands. Okay, so we are currently using XAMPP server. We are using MySQL software. Okay, so now let's get to know about different types of SQL commands. So SQL commands are categorized into DDL, DML, DCL, DQL, and DCL. So these are the 5 categories in SQL commands. So DDL consists of create, alter, drop, and truncate. So DDL consists of create, alter, drop, and truncate. DML consists of insert, update, delete. So DCL command consists of commit, rollback, and save point. So DQL commands consist of select, and DCL command consists of grant and revoke. So these are the 5 categories of SQL commands we have. So now let's get to know about DDL, DML, DCL, DQL, and DCL. Okay. So in DDL, so what is the full form of DDL? Data definition language. So the full form of DDL is data definition language. So we have commands like create, alter, drop, and truncate. Now let's get to know about create. So create keyword is used in SQL to create a database, or to create index, or to create a view, or to create, we can create view, we can create index, we can create procedure, we can create a table. So these are the operations that can be done using the keyword known as create. Okay, now let's get to know how database is created. So database can be created using the command called create database name. So this is how we create a database. So after writing this query, the database will be created. So just go to phpMyAdmin. Here you can see the option called SQL and type the command create database name. So after, so database name is, so it's my own wish. Okay, so I'm typing project 2. So after writing the command, press the option called go. So here you can see MySQL returned an empty cell. So here the query is being executed. So here you can see I have created a database called project 2. On the left side you can see a text known as project 2. So this is known as the database. So project 2 is a database that is created, okay, using the SQL query. So this is how database is being created. Okay, so now let's get to know about how to create a table. After creating the database, we create table. So table creation can be done using create command. So create table name. So table consists of columns and data types. So I'm using the column names as on my own wish. Column 1, I can create n number of columns. So after creating the column, we need to include a data type. So we have too many different types of data types like varchar, int, okay, date, text, so many things. So it depends on the column. We need to select the data type. So data type. So like that, I can create n number of columns with data type. So now let's create a table. So inside the project 2 database, I'm creating a table. Typing the command create table. So the table name is student. So the table name is student. Inside the student table, I'm creating a column. The first column name is student ID, varchar of 100, comma. So the column 2 name is name, varchar of 200. So this is how we create a table. So you can see clearly I have written a query with the table name called student, and the column names are ID and name with data types varchar this is the size of the data type. So after writing the query, I am pressing the go button. So here you can see the query has been executed. So here you can see here in the project 2 database, the student table is created. Okay, this is how we create a table. So here you can see the student table. Inside the student table, I have created two columns known as ID and name. So here you can see ID and name columns, but there is no data. Okay, so the next operation is inserting the data. So we get to know about in DML commands. Okay, so now let's get to know about no problem. Let's get to know about how to insert a table. So inserting a table can be done in using insert command. Insert into table name. So name of the table. So after inserting the after writing this thing, we need to write the values, specific values inside the course or else. Okay, so if you are having n number of columns, depends on the column names, we need to write the values. Insert into table name, sorry. So I am having column 1 and column 2. So n number of columns. Okay, so values. I am inserting the values. 10. It's my one wish. Okay, better to include quotes while you are writing values. So this is how we insert data inside the table. So I am inserting the data inside the table right now. So I am using the command called insert into table. Table name is student, right? Student consists of IDs and name column. Name, values, 1, comma, ram. So after writing the query, I am pressing the query button go. So here you can see there is an error. Sorry, a mistake in syntax. So now the query has been executed. So I have inserted two values. One ID name is 1 and the ram name. So here you can see inside the student table, I have created a row, single row. I have inserted 1 and ram. So there is a mistake in syntax. Remove the insert into table. Okay, insert into table name values. So after creating a table, you need to insert the data. So this is how we insert the data inside the table. Okay, the next step is after inserting the table, you can see the output. So you can see the output using select command. Okay, by using the select command, you can see the output. So select star from table name. You can see the entire table information. So if you want to see the display, if you want to display the output of the table, just go to SQL and type the command select star from table name is student, type student. Click on this go button. So you can see the output with column names and rows. So this is how we perform general operations on table. So now let's get to know about one more thing. Okay, so let's get to know how to create an index, how to create a view. Okay, so these are the basic operations. So now let's get to know how to update the data. So we want to update the data. So I want to change this ram as Rama. So I want to change this ram name as Rama. So I have to use this keyword. I have to use the keyword called update. Okay, so update command helps us to modify the data inside the database. So update command uses the keyword called set. So update table. So the table name is the written table name that we have written. Update table name, what we have written, set. So what we have to set? So we need to set this ram as Rama, right? This ram is inside the column name. So we need to write column. So new value, Rama, value. We need to display the value. Okay, so that's it. Update table name, set column value. So I'm converting this ram as Rama. Okay, just update table name is student. Set what I'm setting, name as Rama. So after writing the query, I'm pressing this go button. So here you can see the ram word change it to Rama. Okay, this is how we use update command. Okay, to update the data inside the table. So these are the basic commands that we need to know. Okay, so if you want to insert multiple rows inside the table, so even you can insert multiple rows inside the table. So we have only single row, right? We can insert multiple rows inside a table. So to insert multiple rows, okay, so write the command insert into table. What is the table name? Student. So what are the IDs? ID, comma name, values. So I'm creating second row to data. Okay. So this is how we insert values. We can insert n number of values that we want. So I'm using Sita. So I'm creating one more row, 3, Lakshmi. So this is how we insert multiple rows inside a table. So I'm typing this query and checking the output. Sorry, there is a mistake in use a comma operator. So here you need to use you need to close the parenthesis. So if you are inserting one more row, you need to use one more parenthesis. 4, comma, Khan. Use parenthesis and comma symbol if possible. For reading multiple rows, if you are inserting multiple rows, just use this command. And press the go keyboard. So here you can see the multiple rows has been inserted. So this is how we create a insert multiple rows inside a table. So after that, after creating a table, you can perform a number of operations. Okay. So now let's create an index for the table. Okay. So index helps us to index is background process that we run. Okay. So let's create an index for student table. Okay. So how to create an index? Create index name. Okay. So this is how we create an index. So create index name. It's our wish. On which table? On table name, comma, column. Which column you need to create index. So this is how we we write any index command. So I am writing index command here. Create index. Index name is so my own index name is student 2. Okay. Index name on which table? On student table. So for which ID? For the name column, for the column name. Okay. So I have created index for name column. Okay. So index has been created. So here you see the index has been created. If I type run this query, So this is how we create an index. So after creating the index, if you want to show the index, how many indexes we created, we command the show indexes from alien. So after typing the command, you can see the number of indexes that have been created. Okay. So now let's get to know about how to create a view. So view can be created using the command called create. So create view. So for what view you want to display. So create view. View name. It's your wish. So view name can be our wish. As you need to use the keyboard called as select. So I want to see the view only. I want to see only name without ID. I want to see the name view without ID. So I'm using select name from student. Okay. So here I can use any view name. It's my wish. So I am typing this command here. Create view name as select name from student. So view name is A. I'm using the view name called A. I'm executing the command. Okay. So I am now running the view. So view name is A. So select star from A to display the result. So after running the command, I can see the view only with the column name, including only name, excluding ID. So this is how we can create views. Okay. So if I use this view command, I can see the output in whatever way I can. Okay. This is how we create a view. So we have so many things that can be created. So we have procedures in SQL. So we can create procedures. We can perform so many operations. And we can perform. We can use case operations. So many things can be done. Now let's get to know about what is main procedure. So procedures are pre-compiled. Procedures are pre-compiled SQL code that is used to see can be used for reusability. It can be used and saved. Okay, it can be saved and it can be saved and that can be reused. Okay, whenever we want. So you don't need to write the command again and again. It saves your time. Okay, just execute the procedure whenever you want. So this stored procedure has it also have parameters, so it can act based on the parameter values. Okay, so even it has some parameters. Okay, so now just for example, let's see an example how to create a procedure. Okay, uh, the procedure can be created using the create command. Create procedure. Procedure name is author. Okay, create procedure name. Here you have to use the parameter and data type. Use our own wish parameters. Okay, So after creating the parameters and data type, we need to begin the procedure. Where we need to write the SQL codes. Okay, the following SQL code is been saved and can be used. So it's our own select command, create command, anything. Write your commands, write your own commands, and end the procedure here by using the end. Okay, this is how we write a procedure. This is how procedure can be written. So here now let's see an example. Okay, so I'm creating a procedure with parameters create procedure. I'm creating a procedure name called student. Okay, so I've created a procedure name called student. In that procedure, I am creating parameter called id with data type varchar, and one more parameter. I'm adding one more parameter called name with data type varchar. Okay, I've created two parameters. Beginning the procedure with begin keyword. So I am executing the query. Select star from student. Okay, select star from student where id is equal to the parameter that I have used. Sorry, at the rate of id. Okay, now I'm ending the procedure. Okay, by using the end keyboard. So this is how we write a procedure. So this is how we write a procedure. So to execute the stored procedure, we use the command called exec. So execute procedure name. So we can execute it in this command. So to pass the values, okay. So we can call the values. Okay, just right click call command. Okay, so what you want to pass. So procedure name is student, right? Type call student. Okay, so what you want to pass here id name, right? Just type one your own id. Okay, this is how we pass the values. So this is how after passing the values, the value will be passed to the procedure. This is how we call. So now let's execute this procedure inside PHP. Okay, let's get to see procedure in next coming classes. Okay, so this is how we create a procedure. So if you want to delete a row or a column, use the command called drop. Okay, drop is a command to delete entire table inside the database. If you use drop command, so you need to be extremely careful because the data, if the data is extremely important, you need to be cautious before using this keyboard. Okay, so drop table. So if you use this command, entire, you see, if I use this command for this student table, the entire table along with column names will be deleted. Okay, so records plus columns will be deleted. Both will be deleted. Okay, so if you use a delete command, so delete command just deletes only the rows of the table. It doesn't delete the entire table. Okay, so you need to be extremely aware. Okay, just use delete from table. Okay, so first I'm using delete command. So I'm using delete and deleting all the rows. Delete from student. I'm executing this query. If you see here, inside the student table, entire only rows and records are deleted, but ID and name still you can see ID and name. Okay, doesn't get affected. So if you want to delete rows and column names, use drop command. So now let's delete both ID and name. So go to SQL and type drop table. So table name is student. Press this option. Here you can see the entire table is deleted. Nothing is there except the view, table name, records, columns as table name. Everything will be deleted. You need to be cautious before using these two keywords, two commands. Okay, you have to be extremely cautious before using these two commands. Okay, so now let's get to know about more commands. So we have so many things called operators. So we have operators, SQL operators like so we know the SQL operators, basic SQL operators, arithmetic, logical, bitwise operators. We have arithmetic logical operators, bitwise operators. We have comparison operators. Comparison can also be called as relational operators. We have compound operators. So these are the basic operators we have. So arithmetic operators, we all know arithmetic operators: subtraction, multiplication, division, modulo division. So these are the basic arithmetic operators. So next, what are the logical operators? So we have basic logical operators like logical and logical or we have logical and logical or exclusive. Okay, logical not. So XOR. So we have two SQL operators. So we have AND, OR, any, between. Okay, exist, in, like, we have not, has some. So these are the logical operators we have. So we have bitwise operators like bitwise AND, bitwise OR, bitwise exclusive OR, bitwise CAN. So these are the bitwise operators that we have. So after that we have so many things like logical operators, bitwise operators, we have comparison operators. So we have comparison operators like greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, not equal to. So not equal to can also be written as like this. So these are the comparison operators we have. So the one more thing we have is compound operators. So compound operators are minus is equal to, star equal to. So these are the compound operators. Compound is a mixed operators. Mix of two operators. So it's a compound operator. So with these operators, we perform SQL queries. So now let's use all these operators and perform some kind of operations on the data. Okay. So before performing operations, let's create a table. Table. So now let's get to see here the arithmetic operators plus operators. Select 10 plus 20. So here I'm using the arithmetic operator called plus. So I'm executing the query. You can check the result here 30. Okay. Select 10 plus 20. The output is 30. So like that we can perform arithmetic operators on column names. 10 minus 5. The result is 5. So we can use multiple operators. 10 star 5. The result is 50. So use select 10 divided by 2. The result is 5. So you can use modulo division. Select 10 by 3. So what is modulo division? So modulo division gives you the remainder. Okay. So not the coefficient. Okay. So the modulo division, the value is 1. 3 3s are 9. And the remainder is 1. So this is how we use arithmetic operators. So in the table we can use column operators. Okay, so now let's get to know about the comparison operators. Comparison is also known as relation operators. Okay, so we have greater than, less than, equal to, not equal to. So we have few comparison operators. So now let's perform comparison operators. 10 greater than 5. So this is true. So you can see the result, what the result shows. So after executing the command, you got the result 1. 1 means true. You can assume this as true. Okay. Select 10 greater than 5. So this is a right command. So you will get the output 1. 1 is known as true and 0 is known as false. So if you see this example, 10 is less than 5. So you will get the output as 0. This displays a false. So just type a query. Select 10 is less than 5. Check the result. So here you can see the result 0. So that is false statement. So this is how comparison operator works. So we have greater than, less than, greater than, equal to. So here you can see 10 is greater than equal to 10. What is the output? This is true. What is the meaning of greater than equal to? The meaning of greater than equal to two conditions. 10 greater than 10, 10 is equal to 10. So this is true. Okay. So hence the output is true. So let's test. Select 10 greater than equal to 10. Select 10 greater than equal to 10. Execute the query. So we will see the option called true. So like that, we can perform select 10 less than equal to 10. So here, even here, you can see the output true. So if anyone is true, the output is true. Okay, then we can So this is how we perform operators. Okay, comparison operators, relation operators. So you need to be extremely cautious while using this keywords. So there's a problem called SQL injection. So SQL injection is the biggest problem. Everyone is facing. So you need to be extremely cautious. Okay, from hackers. So they hackers uses injects malicious code, hacking code. That is known as malicious code into your database. So if they run the database, they can steal your information or they can crash your data. Okay, this is extremely dangerous. You need to be extremely aware of SQL injection. To prevent this SQL injection, you have so many options. So to prevent the SQL injection, you need to use prevention strategies like using parameterized queries or protecting the database by using privileges commands. Okay? So you need to be extremely cautious while using SQL injection. Okay, you are extremely aware of. You have to be aware of SQL injection. What is SQL injection? Okay, so we need to be extremely cautious. Okay, so this is how operators work. Okay, so we have one more thing called comparison. We have bitwise operators. We have compound operators. So everything is similar. Okay, so you can get to know about everything easily. So we have so many things called data types in SQL. So there are so many data types in SQL called int, varchar, date, time. Okay, so these are different kinds of data types that we have in SQL. So int is used for integers, for numerals. This is for numerals and as well as alphabets. This is only for date. This is for time. We have one thing for text. You can check different types of databases while creating a table. So here, so here you can see for creating a table, you can see the list of databases, the types of data types. So here see we have so many types of data types here present. So you can select what kind of data type you want and you can create, okay, the table. By creating a table, you can use this data type. So if you want to change the data type after creating table, you need to use alter command. So alter command is extremely important. Okay, alter table name. Okay, so you can alter your table name, you can alter your column name, you can alter your data type. So you can alter your index, you can alter your view. So you have so many options to perform, to update, to change the structure of the table by using the alter command. So we have one more thing called join concept. So join is extremely important. So we have four types of join: full join, okay, inner join, left and right join. Okay, full join is combining both. So combining both tables. So inner join is combining tables with similar records. Only with similar records, table is joined. Okay, left join. So only similar rows are retrieved from left table. So right table, only data from right side, similar rows from right side are retrieved. So join concept is extremely important in SQL. So we have got null functions. We have got null functions, null values. So instead of typing zero anything, empty values, if you are not writing anything, the output will be stored as displayed displayed as null. To prevent these null values, we have few options. We have few options to work on these null values. So we have these options. It's extremely important to prevent these null words. So SQL functions helps us to remove the null values. We have closing. We have closing if null is null and NVL. SQL functions to remove these null values. Just type null values. Okay, so if you want to copy one from one table to another table, insert. So if you want to copy from one table to another table, so you can go for insert into select. Okay, so this is how we use these commands. You can copy the entire table. Okay, so these are the few most basic important tables. So we have one more thing called select into command. So this command helps us to copy data from existing table and insert into a new band table. So insert into select into table are extremely important. So we have one more thing called case command. So cases, we all know about the switch case. So cases will be on different types of cases. The related case will be executed. So we know about the switch case. So different cases will be the different kinds of operations. The correct operation, the correct case will execute the command. Okay. So we have a few most basic things that we need to know about things. So we have one more thing called constraints, which are extremely important constraints. So we have constraints called unique constraint. We have primary key. We have we have primary key. We have foreign key. We have automatic increments. We have check. We have not null. So we have few constraints. So unique. What is meant by unique? Unique keyword helps us to remove. It helps us to not enter duplicate values. Okay. Uh, so it will, if you write a unique keyword, so it will block users from inserting or updating a column with a duplicate value. Okay. So we cannot update the table and cannot duplicate value. Okay. So primary key. What is the use of the primary key? So primary key helps us to remove. Okay. So primary key. Primary key performs two functions. That is, it helps not to null. It removes null values and it performs unique operation. Primary key is null plus unique. Foreign key. So to prevent duplicates in two tables. So association between two tables. So no duplicates. Okay. So here we use a command called reference. It is extremely important. So check command for the condition. Suppose for the if any user consists of age is less than 18, so that row will not be updated. Okay, so not null. So null values will not be entered. So these are the main constraints that we need to learn. Extremely important while creating a table. So we have one more thing called SQL functions. Is extremely important. We all know about what is SQL functions. We have few SQL functions like string functions, numeric functions, data type function, aggregate functions, user defined functions, predefined functions. So we all know about SQL few functions. We all know about the aggregate functions that we have. We have aggregate functions like average, count, first, last, max, minimum, sum. So these are the few aggregate functions that we have. So with the use of the select command, we perform all these aggregate functions. Okay, so after that we have few scalar commands like uppercase, lowercase, mid, length, round, format. So these are the main SQL functions that we have. Okay, so SQL functions are extremely important while writing SQL queries. Okay, so now let's get to know about SQL scalar functions. So scalar functions are uppercase, lowercase, we have a mid length around. We have mid length around. We have now. We have format. So these are the scalar functions that we have. So these are the functions that we have. So I hope you have understood what is my databases. Okay. So we have one more thing called show databases command. So it lists out all the databases. If you want to use specific database, use database name. So the database name will be created. So if you use a describe command, dec table. So it describes the table. So just type desc. So if you want to describe about the here you can see I have created a table inside the project. Inside the project one, I'm creating a table called student with a column. I don't need one more thing, so I'm using to describe student table desc table name. Just a disk command. It describes about the table, like how many null values are created, how many data types, how many column names. Okay, it describes about the table. So we have draw command, we have select, grant. So we have few commands like a rollback. A rollback means like we use in general undo, redo operations like undo and redo. Okay, so we have save command, save to save the code till we did. So especially this is used in command prompts. Command prompts. Save point. Save command is used in external command prompts while writing the queries. Okay, so this save point extremely helps us to back up the data. Okay, if any server crashes, any power left down happens. Okay, so this save point name. So you can use any save point. This is how we create. These are the commands we have. Few commands that we have. So I hope you understood about SQL query.